Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to show you how to create a flawless foundation, a flawless base for the rest of your makeup. I think this is super important. I think it's the most important part of makeup in my opinion. It's the most important part that I like to focus on when doing my makeup is my skin and how my skin looks, because I believe when you have a flawless base, a flawless foundation, you can do anything you want with your makeup. Like the rest is just nice add-ons, but the foundation is like the most important part. This is just my opinion. Everyone has their own opinions, but I just love to have a flawless base. I'm not going to show you how I'm contouring or highlighting or anything like that. This is going to be a pretty in-depth video on how I prep my skin before foundation, how I like to apply it, how to get the most flawless full coverage in your foundation, and all that good stuff. I don't know if it's just me, but when my skin looks really good, I feel like I'm on top of the world. I don't know if that's weird, but I just really love having really flawless skin and nothing cakey, nothing crazy like that. I just like my skin to look like skin, but I love makeup. I love foundation. It's my favorite part of makeup, and yeah, I don't think there's any shame to that. If you have flaws that you want to cover them. Who cares? It's your business. It's what you want to do. There is no shame to makeup. Makeup washes off. It's not a big deal. But I just love having a flawless canvas on my face, and then the rest of your makeup is just whatever you choose to do. You can do that nice smoky eye, that red lip and all that, but if you have a lot of blemishes or problematic skin or dry skin or anything like that showing through, what I'm trying to say is that the parts of your face that you're trying to accentuate the most, like your eyes or your lips or whatever it may be, they're not going to stand out as much as you would like them to if you don't have a nice flawless base first. So that is what I'm trying to help you achieve here, and yeah, I really hope that you learned something in this video, and if you want to see how I get a flawless foundation type of look, then please keep watching. So please excuse my appearance. I'm in my pajamas because I just woke up and my hair is in a bun and I look really bad, but I'm doing my makeup for the day and I wanted to show you guys a flawless foundation application and how you can make your foundation look kind of as good as possible without it looking too cakey, too harsh, cling on to any dry patches or anything like that. The first step to a super flawless foundation application is your base, which we call a primer. My favorite primer at the moment, because I do have quite dehydrated skin lately, pretty dry skin. You don't see any like dry patches, but my skin always feels like tight and dry. I don't know why. My skin literally changes throughout the season. Sometimes it's super oily, sometimes I do have like super dry patches, and sometimes it's just like tight and feels thirsty, if you know what I mean. And that's what I'm having lately. And right now I have already applied my moisturizer and a primer because I need it. So if you're somebody with super dry skin, I would definitely recommend applying a good moisturizer and then a moisturizing primer on top of that, and let that soak into your skin at least like 5 to 10 minutes before applying your foundation. I don't know why, but letting it sit in your skin before applying the foundation does really help it look a lot better when you put your foundation on. If you apply it right after, it kind of just gets like a little streaky and like messy and weird. But right now I am using the Too Faced Hangover RX primer, and this one is amazing. It's just really nourishing. It doesn't have any of those silicone type of ingredients that like cover your pores or anything like that, which I don't mind. It's filled with coconut water, electrolytes, and probiotics, and it's really good for your skin. It just really makes you look refreshed, and I don't know if you can see, I look pretty dewy looking. I like the dewy look, and I like the nice plump like hydrated look in my opinion for my skin, but you can always obviously customize it to your own skin. So if you like a more matte look, or if your skin is super oily, I highly recommend these two primers. This one is the Murad Invisiblur Perfecting Shield, and this one has SPF 30, which is awesome, so you can definitely wear this like throughout the day and you have your SPF in it. This one is very similar to all of the other silicone-based primers, if you ever heard of them, like the Makeup Forever primers and the Smashbox Photo Ready primer and the Benefit Porefessional, which I'm going to talk to you about in a minute. But basically it looks like this. It's like a gel, it's clear, and it just rubs on your skin like a silicone-y based primer. It just feels really silicone-like, and it's really good for your pores. So what I like to do often is I take a little bit of that and I just concentrate that on the areas where I have pores. So I'll put that right here, right there. This is the area where I have like the largest pores, like right on my cheeks right near my nose right here. I don't know why. A little bit on my nose right there and a little bit on my chin. This also helps you with shine throughout the day. So if you're oily but like not too oily, I would recommend this one. If you're super oily and you have large pores, or if you're just oily in general, or have any type of like texture on your skin, like from acne scars or marks or anything like that, I would definitely recommend the Porefessional. I don't use this too often because I feel like it's too heavy for my skin, but it does a really good job at covering up your pores and just creating like a super flat canvas on your face. So I would definitely recommend this one for those of you who have oily skin, or if you have problematic skin or large pores or anything like that. This just creates a nice flat canvas on your face, and then when you apply the foundation on top of that, it just looks super seamless. The next primer I highly recommend for those of you who love a glow, a nice summer glow. For those of you who don't really have oily skin, or even if you do and you still like to have a nice glow and you can still put like the silicone on your oily parts and have this on the other parts of your face that are not, I recommend this L'Oreal Magic Lumi Primer. I use this very often, and it looks like this pearl based type of primer, and it is super gleamy. Like your face is beaming when you put this on. It is very dewy, and it just makes you look very nice and glowy and hydrated. And sometimes I'll even just take a little bit of this and I'll put that on the tops of my cheekbones like this. And what this does is just makes your highlighter that you may or may not apply after you put on your foundation look even more like accentuated, make your highlighter really pop. And even if you don't place a highlighter and you put this under your foundation, it'll look kind of like you have one without really having one, like a natural glow from within. So I'll put like a little bit of that right there on the tops of my cheekbones. I don't do this every single day, all of these primers, but I'm just showing you guys like the different types of primers and what you can do for your skin, and you can switch it up. If you're having a dry skin day, use more moisturizing primers and more moisturizer. If you're having an oily day or whatever and your skin feels like crap, use a silicone based primer. And I'm sorry this whole primer intro was so long, but primer is super important in makeup application. I don't really show it or talk about it a lot in my videos. I kind of just put it on and like skip through that because I always let it soak in for like 5 to 10 minutes. I remember in high school I never moisturized my skin and I never used primer, and I always was like, why is my skin so dry and patchy? Why does my makeup look like this and this and this? This is kind of gross. I don't like this, whatever. But I thought it was my foundation. I never thought it was me. I thought I knew what I was doing and it was the foundation's problem, but no, it was me all along. So yeah. Moving on to the tools that you'll use for your foundation, it all depends. If you're using powder foundation, then I recommend like a buffing brush or a kabuki brush to buff in the powders. I'm not very familiar with powder foundation to use solely on its own, so I'm not going to be talking too much about that. I recommend that for people with super oily skin because it is quite drying, or at least use a very hydrating moisturizer underneath your foundation before you put on powder foundation, such as like the Bare Minerals powder foundation or any kind of powder foundation. I just feel like it clings on to any dryness in your skin, and I prefer liquid, so that's what I'm going to be talking about in this video. Right now I am using the Elcie Micro Silk Foundation, and I just got this recently and it's my shade right now, so that's why I'm using this one. It doesn't really matter, I have a bunch of liquid foundations. This one kind of has like a satin finish, which I like. You can get any type of foundation you want. You can get a matte one, a satin one, a dewy one. There are so many finishes and so many foundations, so I can't really tell you which one is for you. That's up to you to figure out for your skin type and what look you're going for. I highly recommend going to like a MAC counter to get matched and see what skin color you are in MAC, because they go by like NC20, NC30, NW20, 30. Those are like their weird numbers and shades. But a lot of companies, like when you go on their websites or whatever, they can match what foundation you are based on what foundation you are in MAC. That's how I found out what foundation I was with this, because I was NW30 or 35 I believe right now, because I'm like a little bit tanner than I usually am. So this is my shade. That's one suggestion. Or you can just go to like Sephora or Ulta and have them match you themselves. Whatever foundation you choose, or whatever the employee helps you pick out for your skin type or whatever, just ask them to match you. Make sure they're matching you based on your neck and not your face. A lot of the times when I go to Sephora, they put it on my face and try and match me there, and I'm like, no, put it on my neck, because your neck is always a little bit darker. At least most of the time from what I've seen with people, their necks are a little bit darker than their faces, because you exfoliate your face, you wash your face so much, you remove the dead skin way more than you do on your neck. so your face is always a little bit lighter. So yeah, next we're going to be talking about tools, and I have two favorite tools to use for foundation, for liquid foundation. My absolute holy grail favorite tool that I'm going to be using in this video, that I really want to show you guys how I use it and explain in depth, is the Beauty Blender. The original Beauty Blender. This is a damp one. That's why it looks like bigger than they usually do. They're usually a little bit smaller when they're dry. This is the best tool in the market, and I don't know if I've tried all of them, but I'd like to think that I've tried pretty much every type of foundation brush out there, and this is hands down the best thing ever. If you don't own this, I definitely recommend that you do. I know that there are a lot of knockoffs and cheap alternatives to it, which is fine, but they're not going to perform the same at all. I've tried them all and they just do not compare to the original Beauty Blender. This is $20, and a lot of people think that's a lot of money, and it kind of is for a sponge, but this has lasted me over a year, and I just wash it, reuse it, wash it, reuse it. It's amazing. I've purchased other ones too, but this is just amazing. A brush like this costs maybe $20–30. There really isn't a difference. I know people look at it and they think it's a sponge. Why would I pay $20 for a sponge? This is more than a sponge. This is like heaven for your face. Believe me when I say you need this in your life. The next tool that I would recommend if you don't want to use something like that is a flat top kabuki brush. This is the easiest to apply foundation in my opinion, aside from the Beauty Blender. You can just press on your foundation like this if you want the most full coverage, or if you're looking for a more medium, lighter coverage, whatever you're going for, you can buff in your foundation and really blend it into your skin. But I usually like to press it like this because that just ensures that the foundation gets into your skin and really presses into it, and it just gives it the most flawless, fullest coverage that it can get with this brush. So I do love brushes like this. These are flat top brushes. This one is by Zoeva, and it is called the 104 Buffer Brush. This is one of my favorite. I also love the Sigma F180, I think it's called. I might be wrong. I don't know if that's the exact name, but the Sigma flat top that looks just like this, I love that so much. So those are my two favorite foundation brushes. When I don't feel like wetting my Beauty Blender, I use that, because sometimes I'm super lazy to go wet this, I'm not going to lie. But right now, I have it in handy, so I'm going to show you how I use it. So depending on your preference and how much coverage you want, however much foundation you use is up to you. I recommend using one pump at a time and then adding as you go, instead of like putting like 3 pumps and then adding a ton of foundation and trying to blend that out, because that can be a little bit sloppy. So I'm taking 1 pump right now and just dotting some all over my face. Doesn't have to be precise, I just dot it like wherever. Doesn't really matter. Try and get the majority of my face. And I know already that I'm going to need more than this, but I take the Beauty Blender, and on the fat side, like the butt side of the Beauty Blender, you want to just press like this. You really don't want to swipe your foundation. You want to press it into your skin so that it really gives you the most flawless coverage, and there's no harsh lines or anything like that. And this really ensures that you don't get any lines. This is why it's so different than a brush. You always have like a flawless base, a flawless canvas. It just looks amazing when you use a Beauty Blender. So I'm gonna do that all over my face. So that is one thin layer, and this is a buildable foundation. It's not like full coverage right off the bat, so I would like to add another layer on top. So what I'm gonna do is take the same thing and just dot it again, adding another layer. And again, like I said, when you do it like this, it just makes it like a lot easier to blend out. Instead of like me doing 2 pumps and trying to put all that on my face at once, this is just a lot easier. And the same thing, you just want to bounce it. It's just like a pouncing motion, like you just press it. It's super easy and super quick, and just like the best thing ever. I'm absolutely obsessed with this. I've been using it for years and years and years. And, well, not years and years and years, maybe like 4 years. It seems like forever for me, but I love it. So that is how that looks, and as you can see, it's pretty flawless. Like, you don't really see any red marks or anything like that. any kind of pigmentation on my skin. It's all covered and it looks really, really seamless. I'll zoom you guys in a little bit closer so that you can see a closer look of my skin. So my camera stopped recording and I had no idea, and I'm really, really angry right now. But what I did was I took my Makeup Forever HD pressed powder, and this is just a translucent powder, and I took a small brush for underneath my eyes and just placed that really nicely underneath there just to set everything. And I like to use a translucent powder when I'm not doing like extreme highlighting and contouring or anything like that. Otherwise I would use like a light powder and darker powders for my face, but I'm just using translucent all over my face right now. And I put that on my eyelids to set that, because that creases really, really easily because you have a bunch of fine lines on your eyelids. And then I took a bigger brush from Real Techniques. This is the powder brush. Tap off the excess and just powder your face a bit. And I don't want to use too much because, like I said, I do like the satin finish of this foundation, but I also really want to set it so that it stays in place all day. Last but not least, when I use powders on my face, I always like to use a setting spray. The one I'm loving at the moment is the Urban Decay B6 Vitamin Infused Setting Spray. This just makes your powder not look so much like powder, if you know what I mean. It makes your skin look more like skin even though you put a lot of powder and makeup on it. So I spray about like 4 to 5 sprays of that onto my face and let it set. And then I move on to the rest of my makeup, and I might even spray it again after I'm done with that part of my makeup, like my bronzer and my blush and all that. I like to do it a few times just because I really, really want my makeup to look like skin and not so much like powders. So yeah. So that is the completed look for my flawless foundation. I really hope you guys got some tips and tricks on that. I'm going to be doing the rest of my makeup now and hopping back on camera just to show you guys. I'm just going to bronze up my face a little bit, put some blush, some mascara, maybe fill in my eyebrows just a tiny bit, and pop like a nude lip or something like that, make myself look a little bit more presentable, maybe change out of my pajamas, who knows. Okay, so I'm back and I literally just slapped some bronzer on, a little bit of blush, and highlight. Like literally did this whole look in 5 minutes because this video is not about the rest of this makeup. It's about the foundation of your makeup. I love that word, foundation, because it literally is what it is. It's the base, and I believe the base of your makeup is the most important part of your makeup, which is why I always focus on the skin so much in my tutorials. A lot of people love to focus on the eyes and other parts of their face, but I love focusing on the skin. I think it's the most important part of the look, because you can take this right here, this flawless base, and you can add anything you want to it. After this, you can just make it your own creation. You can add a crazy smoky eye, green eyeliner, anything you want, crazy false lashes, whatever you'd like. My point is that the base of your makeup is super important, because when you have a flawless base, everything else, that just comes second. Because if your skin doesn't look on point, if it doesn't look right, if you have dry patchy skin, whatever, a bunch of blemishes showing through, and you're trying to accentuate your eyes, the main focus is going to be on your flaws. And I'm not saying that flaws are a bad thing to have. We all have flaws, but this is a flawless foundation tutorial, so that is what I'm trying to help you guys achieve. And I hope that this did help you in any type of way. I hope you did learn something in this video, and thank you so much for watching. I really hope you liked this look. And yeah, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and I'll see you guys next time.